Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nasalli ala rasulihil kareem. Mawlana Yaqub Nanotwi Sahib rahmatullahi alayhi, he gives some very good advice. He says, whenever you're doing any nafil ibadah, obviously the farad ibadah, they're muta'ayyan from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's no change in the number, amount, time, it's all fixed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, in nafil ibadah, he says, whether it's to do with ilm, mutala'a, dhikr, tasbih, Quran, tilawa, everything, you should try to do that much, or don't do more than that, where you get fatigued. Do enough ibadah, nafil ibadah, but stop before you become fatigued, or stop before you feel that I've done all I want to do. Meaning leave a little bit at the end, that you still feel like doing a bit more. Do you understand? So let's say if you're reading Quran, and you're reading Quran for half an hour, for example, and let's say you feel like reading a bit more still, and you know, but I'll probably get tired at 35 minutes. Stop at 25. Stop at 20, at 28, at 30. Don't go to 35. Stop a bit. You feel in tilawah, if you're doing dhikr for like half an hour, and you've done 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and you feel, okay, I still feel like doing a bit more, but I probably get tired, so just stop. The reason behind of this is that you have to remember that our nafs, our base desires, if you look at even in those books called the marshmallow test, we all have a certain amount of willpower. And after a while, our willpower gets burnt out. Spiritually, and even if you look at it in neurotically in the neuroscience, it gets burnt out after a while. We only got a certain amount we can handle. After a while, it just becomes too much, you're overburdened. Do you understand? It's like, for example, one of the tells us a story. He said that one person, he became a Muslim, a new Muslim. Now he became Muslim in Ramadan. This is like, we have summer Ramadan right now, isn't it? But when he was a kid, it was summer Ramadan, like, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago. So when he became Muslim, they took him for, like, Asr. Yes? They took him for Asr Salah. And they kept him in the masjid. And they said, this way he became Muslim, everything. They said, can you wait for iftar? So they kept him in the masjid till iftar. And then they kept him, they didn't let him, like, in a good way, not in a bad way, all the way to 20 rakat of Tarawih, like 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night. He goes, he remained a Muslim, but he never came to the masjid again. He'll never come back to the masjid. It's too hard. Yes? Do you understand? So if you overwork yourself, what happens? The same way you rebel. So imagine the same way, like, I think of, I am one person and you're one person. Think of you and your nafs and your inner soul and your willpower as a separate thing. Yes? So the same way I say, okay, look, you guys come to study, I can get you to do, maybe it's different people have different levels. So maybe somebody who's 5, 6 years old, 7 years old, 10, 15 minutes. You guys want a 1 hour. After 1.5 hours, then it's like, you don't feel like doing it anymore. So if you do too much, what happens? You get burnt out. You understand? So similarly, when you're doing, think of yourself, so the same way I have to look at, I'm a teacher, looking at the students, how much can you handle before you get burnt out and you start to get put off from the lesson? You have to judge that. Similarly, the same way I have to judge you as a student, what you can hold, what you can facilitate, what's your capacity, you also have to judge yourself, what's my capacity? At which point does my willpower get burnt out, exhausted? At which point does my nafs become rebellious, that is too much, I don't like it anymore? And before that, stop. So you can then continue doing it every day. So if you say, for example, your capacity is 1 hour, after 1 hour you get fatigued. We say, okay, we do 45 minutes every day. So at 40 minutes when you think, okay, that was all right, not too bad, I'll come again tomorrow. I'll come again tomorrow. I'll come again tomorrow. And it's fine, you're enjoying it and it's going. And if you say, well, let's just do 5 hours of lesson. Say, I'll not come back again. You want to come. Because you just, it's too much for you. So similarly, he's saying here that don't try to take it right to the end, exert every single, maybe for example, the last day of Ramadan, or last day in Umrah, or the last day before the exams. In those scenarios, okay. But don't do that. If not, what will happen? Because you know, the last day of, even then, like even for example, if I say, today's the last day of class, we're going to do extra, you might get a thing, but it won't put you off the subject totally, because you know, it's only 1 day. But generally speaking, don't overexert yourself so much that you become rebellious. And what will happen when you do it slowly, even exercise? You have to start off very slowly. If you're trying to run a 5K the first time, you're not going to make it. You have to say maybe just walk 1K, or just slightly jog 2K, then go a bit slower, go a bit faster. You have these kind of systems. So similarly, think of it the same way we think of our students as a separate entity, or we think how we approach exercise and how we approach dieting. Similarly of this, there's no excuse to say, oh, don't do anything. But this, for those people trying to do too much, this is for them. You understand the concept that he's explaining here? Yes? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to say, alaykum bima tutiqun. Hold fast to those a'mal which you have the ability to carry out consistently. And in that hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, ahabul a'mari ilallahi ma dima alayh, or kama qal. The best actions are those which are continuous, which you do consistently. And what will happen? Consistency will lead to more in the long run. Why? Again, we have the whole summer in front of us, okay? So let's say, for example, I try and call you one day after Zuhr, and we say we're going to have class all the way to Asr. So you have 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 5 hours, and then you say, no, I'm not going again, it's too much. So one day we did how many hours? 5 hours of class. And if we do half an hour every day, or we just do 1 hour every day, half an hour every day. In 1 week we get 2.5 hours, next week we get 2.5 hours, 5 hours anyways. And then we've got 4 more weeks still left. So in the long run, it's less, but it becomes more. Similar with your tilawah, your ibadah. It may be less, but you have to make sure you have continuity. Fahim?